Fala, meu povo, tudo bem com vocês? E todo mundo fala aqui no Brasil que quando os europeus perdem, eles não estão nem aí, eles não estão dando importância, estão cansados. Mas a imprensa inglesa não deu mole, velho. Desceram a lenha no Manchester City, porque o City perdeu ontem pro Al-Hilal. Cara, que jogo, hein? 4-3, que jogão. E o Al-Hilal se classificou e vai pegar o Fluminense. Se liga aí como a imprensa da Inglaterra levou essa derrota aí do City. Se liga aí.
Callum Wilson and Shay Given are with me in the studio. We can all breathe now because Gail, it's your first game on DAZN with us. What a game it was!
Well, I don't think we saw that coming.
No.
We all got wrong with the pronostic or whatever we call it, but what a game. I mean, you know, we often hear that football is becoming a bit more structured and we don't find passion or whatever. This game was pure football and a well-deserved win, I think, for overall for Inzaghi.
Wow, Callum, like Gail says, we didn't see that coming. Al-Hilal, we knew they were capable of a shock, like the Real Madrid result, but I'm not sure we thought they were capable of that.
I mean, we all predicted that Man City would win. I think everybody else probably did as well.
Yeah.
So it is probably the shock of the tournament. We questioned where the goals would come from. Mitrovic out, Salem out. Then all of a sudden, they've scored 4 goals against a team that's only conceded 2 in the whole tournament, let's not forget. So I think overall, like you say, well-deserved win. We have no complaints and yes, they progressed to the next round.
Yeah, we can see, Shay, just what it means to Al-Hilal. Look at them celebrating there. We shouldn't underestimate just how big of a result this actually is, should we?
No, I mean, it's an iconic. Simon's got the flag up, Bernardo with his jersey on the flag at the end when he scored the winning goal. It's a fairy tale story, really, isn't it? Al-Hilal with this amazing victory over, you know, a lot of people's favourites for the tournament, Man City. Such a huge club. We have superstars all over the you know, the pitch and on the bench and everything. And you know, these things will go around the world and they deserve their moment, because for me it wasn't a fluke. It really wasn't. I mean, we talk about Man City going forward, offensively very good, but defensively, Olivier, really poor. Really worrying signs for Pep Guardiola, and they scored 4 tonight. They could have even scored a few more had they done the right selection in the final third. But these guys will celebrate tonight, I'm sure, and in the quarter-final now on Friday.
Yeah, and I suppose, Gail, this is what the FIFA Club World Cup is all about. And this isn't just a big night for Al-Hilal. This is a big night for Saudi football as a whole, isn't it?
That's what they want. They want to be seen. They want to be recognized into the football world. And I think, you know, it's not a normal team as well. They've got great players. And what we said before the game, they've got a great manager now. And you could see that, you know, they study City 100%. They knew where to play. First half, I think, on 2 occasions, it was just a matter of can we execute the final pass. And I think they did well. You know, all the goals came from what we thought could be the problem for City. So yeah, a great coach with great analysts, good players, and a desire to hurt the opponent, and you have a great result. So yeah, I mean, well done.
And we spoke about him pre-match, didn't we, Callum? Marcus Leonardo. We did think it was going to be a big night for him, and he got a brace, but most importantly for him, he got the winning goal in the 112th minute.
Yeah, I mean, as a striker, you know, you've been given an opportunity to step in, perform. We said before the game he'd got himself on the score sheet last game, so he had that confidence, and he's Johnny on the spot here, got himself the winning goal for his team. I just feel, yeah, all game from these situations, they had good box coverage, Al-Hilal did, in terms of every zone was covered. Even from the first half, really, they were soaking up weather in the storm, which you have to do against top teams, but they managed to do it, and then they got their just rewards for it as well at the end.
Yeah, and Jay, you can't really criticise Ederson there, can you? It was a pretty good save. I mean, you maybe could criticise a few things he did in the game, but maybe not that.
Earlier goals, I think he parried, he should have saved, but I think that's a really good save, actually. But again, when the ball goes wide to Lottie, who crosses it, he could have crossed it straight to Leonardo, who's free. Ake had a 2v1 in the middle of the box. Defensively, you know, Man City, there's some big question marks defensively, you know. Why are they at 6s and 7s at the back, and not just on one-off occasions, you know, 6 and 7 several times tonight in the game? So that's a real worry, and of course, team after they were devastated to go out. They really were. They wanted to come here. They wanted to win the tournament. And again, the chances they give up to Al-Hilal were way too many.
Yeah, they were. Right, let's take it all the way back to the start then, because it was the 9th minute, Gail, that Manchester City went 1-0 up through Bernardo Silva. But there was a little bit of controversy surrounding this. The Al-Hilal players were not happy that this goal was given.
No, we spoke about it, and maybe different game, different scenario. Maybe the goal is being cancelled because there's a slight handball. I think if the ref decide to not give the goal, nobody will complain. But football games goes like this. But that's why we said, of course, City dominated dictate the game, and they were probably the better team. But overall, I think it's a good win because of that goal first and the reaction they had. You know, it's always difficult to get back into a game, even more so when you play against City that was in top form. So I mean, it's one of those games that we'll be looking forward, you know, in future, because it's a phenomenal performance.
Yeah, and Shay, the man who got the winning goal, Marcus Leonardo, actually made it 1-1. And again, it just came down City's left, where Jeremy Doku and Ryan Aït-Nouri just were slightly out of position. It felt like there was a lot of times that this happened.
Well, the game's about defending and attacking, Livy, and I don't think the balance is right. I think going forward, Aït-Nouri and Doku are absolutely brilliant. But then defensively, there's some serious question marks because all the positive stuff came down this right-hand side. And again, you know, I think maybe Ederson can do better perhaps with that one, maybe get hold of it, but he plays at the right time. And again, he doesn't panic or nothing. He just places a header in the corner. And it's another brilliant finish from Leonardo.
Now, Callum, we were talking about this sort of at half-time, that everything came down that side. Now, before the game, we were talking about how, you know, City have been so solid, they've barely conceded any goals. It feels like we've gone back to the City that we saw in the Premier League last season. So how does Pep go about fixing this?
Well, we spoke before the game about Aït-Nouri and Doku's relationship, but that was from attacking point of view. I think from a defensive point of view, Man City have the ball a lot against teams, so they've not really been tested, and it is a new relationship that's gonna need time to bed in, and they're gonna have to understand each other, and they're gonna come up against opposition that are gonna find them out. But I just think in clips that we've seen there, I think Aït-Nouri was too eager to probably get too tight to the defenders, then get him rolled, and then it is a big ask for Doku to cover him all the way around. You've got centre-backs coming out of positions then you've got gaps appearing everywhere. So I think it's still early days. Can't be quick to judge. As good as City are, obviously tonight's not been a great night for them, but I think yeah, there's obviously room for improvement still.
I suppose it's worrying when Ryan Aït-Nouri is one of the players that the Man City have bought in the summer, and it's quite clear that, you know, Pep has actually fancied him and played him down that left-hand side. But that link-up was lovely going forward. But if he's going to do that, Shay, I don't know what Pep's going to do going forward, because he's going to have to deal with that in some way in the Premier League. We're just going to say goodbye to our Channel 5 viewers, but stay with us on Channel 5 Action and the DAZN app, because we will be continuing to look back on what was an amazing game here. And it was Malcolm that got the goal, Gail, but it was again from City just being wide open. It's gone from their attack straight down up the other end.
I think this is what we saw more or less last year. You know, the rest defense that we call, and sometimes being malicious enough. When we saw the goal just before, maybe you can argue that the left back should maybe make a foul to stop the attack, but often you are exposed when you have the ball and you lose it, so it's like a transition. And on this one, it's very weird to see a team like City making those mistakes, because this is clearly something that you can avoid by having a good rest defense on the set pieces. Also, things like this should never happen. I would say that it's really easy to change because it's just a mental thing. Maybe you could have someone on the bench giving orders, because sometimes in the game you get carried away when you're in the game as a player. But this is, of course, it is a concern, but I would be even more concerned if they were being outplayed, you know, by this team. So individual mistake, you can regulate this. Rest defense, you can regulate this. It's just a matter of talking more, maybe sharing responsibility a bit more, and it should be better. But we've seen it last year. They couldn't quite got it right, so hopefully they can do this over the summer. But yeah, you play against top players, and if you make small mistakes, you get punished.
I mean, how good was the ball though, Shay, from João Cancelo?
Amazing. We spoke before the game about, you know, the history of Pep Guardiola, and Cancelo obviously got sort of shown the door by Pep, but they passed that ball with the outside of his right foot to Malcolm, and he had a lot to do still from there, but it's a brilliant pass. And I'm sure Cancelo's sitting in the dressing room now having a sort of wry smile, thinking, I've got one back on Pep, you know, because not many people can say that.
Yeah, they can't. And again, a guy we spoke about, I feel like our pre-match chat has all come to, it's been perfect, hasn't it?
Free experts here, you know, free experts.
It is free experts in the studio, you are. You're all great. We spoke about Erling Haaland and just sort of being in the right positions, and he got another goal again tonight to make it 2-2.
Yeah, he did, and before the game we spoke about him, how fantastic he is in terms of his goals and the numbers. He's in the right place at the right time, and he had a lot of chances tonight. Obviously, he got himself a goal here, which got them back in the game. But I think on another night, he might have even got himself a hat-trick.
Do you think he'd be disappointed by that, Callum? Because he did have a lot of chances that he should have scored more, perhaps.
Yeah, I think as a striker, you're always analyse and self-reflect after a game. You want to score not just one goal, you want to score 2, 3. He would have had an opportunity there, and there was a few you're thinking, if I had a step left or right a little bit quicker, he might have had more of an opportunity. But you know, some days he scores a hat-trick from 3 chances. Other days he might only score 1 from 5. That's it's the joy of being a striker, I think, you know.
Yeah, and it was the centre-back, again, someone that we spoke about pre-match, Kalidou Koulibaly, Gail, that made it 3-2, and it was an absolutely brilliant header.
Yeah, well, you can see at the beginning the way he moves away Diaz. You know, I think Diaz is complaining to the referee, but that's, again, you know, that's things that you can avoid because, you know, on set pieces, you know, those kind of team will try to use that. But if you see the block on Diaz, you will be thinking a young player can get caught like that, not someone like Diaz. So those little things you can actually alter and change the result. But again, you know, he's not a random player. You know, he came from Chelsea. He did great things in Europe. So they know how to play. They've got enough talent to identify weaknesses. And I think tonight they've done it. But again, I think if you want to be the City that we've seen over the last 10 years, we call it perfection. You need to be able to erase those little moments because
It's in the wrong way to start with. But it's all about the contact that he gives Diaz just before the ball is played. I think he comes on his blind side, and then as soon as the ball's there, he knows I can judge the flight of the ball, and then just about contact. And he's that close to the goal. Any kind of contact towards on target, it's a goal.
I think Neves as well, Callum, the delivery from Neves, we spoke about him before the game, is fantastic delivery. It's on his head, but you're right, he sort of comes on the blind side and he comes from the inside of the sort of zonal marking from Man City, and again, it's a brilliant header.
But we can talk also, you know, I think it's you, Shay, who mentioned it. It's just when Alan was taken off,
Yeah.
so he was in the zone to kind of got those balls, and the fact that he's not there, you know, it's an easier ball to give because you don't have to go above him, you know, so also this could be, you know.
Yeah, and there was still more drama to come. We thought that might have been a winning goal. It wasn't, because Phil Foden came off the bench, Alan, to make it 3-3, and it was a lovely ball and a lovely finish, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a great ball, and great to see Phil get himself on the score sheet. I think he probably would have been disappointed not to get on the pitch and into the action a little bit sooner, especially with the form that he's been showing. But that late third-man run is so difficult for defenders to mark because, you know, they're concentrating on the striker, but when a midfielder runs late, it's impossible. And what a cultured finish that is, you know, I mean, he's got a great first touch anyway, but he's got his team back in the game and give them a lifeline in that instance.
Shay, were you surprised that it took Pep so long to bring Foden on?
Yeah, I suppose there was a few players. I mean, Churchy came on and set that goal up as well. We thought, especially with the heat over there as well and the conditions, you thought he could have freshened it up sooner. But again, we're all experts in hindsight what he should have done after when they lose the game. It's not as simple when you're in the mix of making them big decisions. But again, happy for Phil to get back in the score sheet. He had a difficult season last season in the Premier League. Now he scored a couple of goals in this tournament. It might give him a lift going into the new Premier League season.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, everyone can take a breath. What a night for Al-Hilal. They have given us the shock of the FIFA Club World Cup. They've beaten Manchester City after extra time, 4-3 to go through. Let's get some post-match reaction now. Be up. Bernardo Silva is with Alex Aljo.
Pep, I'm sure that defeat's tough to take. What's your assessment of that game?
But it's a pity. It has been an incredible journey. We have been so good here. The vibe of the players, forever staff, our women's staff have been so good. It's a pity that we are out. Football is like this. We allow them to run a little bit of transitions. That always, I think we are good in that, and we create a lot of chances, a lot. And especially the first half, they shoot and start the second half, with a down is the field. But we were there. We tried until the end. Unfortunately, we could not do it. And congratulations to Al-Hilal.
There are 2 quick goals at the start of the second half, the first time City have gone behind in the tournament. How do you think that affected your players, that spell of the game?
But a little bit, but it's football, it's happened, you know, transition. So we knew it was a team with top quality. All of them have been playing in Europe for many years with a lot of quality. There's no doubt about that. It's a pity with that, but I think all the journey we want to continue because it's maybe once in a lifetime to be here, and we performed really well. We start not playing quite good, but Juventus make it in. Today was in general was really, really good against that team, defense so deep. The chances that created were magnificent, but unfortunately we could not turn around.
They fought until the end, your players. What was your message to them just now in the dressing room?
Thank you, absolutely. When a team behaves in the way we behave, it's just thank you. We are disappointed, but we are. So everyone, staff, backroom staff, work a lot, and we were convinced that we could create something good, and hopefully with the foundation to make a good season.
You needed your squad this evening. How happy are you with this squad that you have currently?
No, really good. So they played bad, disappointed for many players. You know, they would have loved to let them play, which is not possible, but it's what it is. We have a squad, and we'll finish. We'll see what happens now. But yeah, now it's tough. We'll come back the next days, rest because it's been a long season, and yeah, we'll start the Premier League as best as possible.
Some rest, some well-deserved rest for your players. But what about you? Do you keep working? What's your focus now?
No, we're going to rest a little bit, and after, yeah, always we come back to work.
Thanks for your time, Pep. Thank you.
Então, pessoal, vocês viram aí, né, Pep Guardiola, como a imprensa inglesa falando sobre essa eliminação do City para o Al-Hilal. O que a gente pode falar também é que o Al-Hilal não é qualquer timeco, mano. Não é porque são da Arábia Saudita. Meu, os caras são uma seleção, tá? Malcolm, Marcos Leonardo, você tem também aquele Milinkovic Savic, se eu não me engano, porra, joga demais, mano. Renan Lodge. Tipo assim, eles contrataram um baita de um time, tanto que na mão do Jorge Jesus estavam ganhando tudo lá na Arábia. Aí perderam um ou outro campeonato, os caras mandaram o Jorge Jesus embora, mas é um timaço, mano. Só que o City, a obrigação dos caras era passar. Aí é o que eu falo pra vocês, os europeus nunca ligam pra essa competição e tal, mas você vê a imprensa inglesa dando um aperto nos caras. Eles vão ter que mostrar muito futebol. E também tem uma briguinha aí, que o City parece que é de um grupo do Qatar, o Al-Hilal da Arábia Saudita, e aí é um rolo mais até político às vezes, tá bom? Mas galera, peço para você se inscrever no nosso canal, deixar o like, peço também que você compartilhe esse vídeo com seus amigos, coloque nos comentários o que você acha sobre essa questão da imprensa europeia, ou então no caso a inglesa, falando sobre o City. E meu, futebol é futebol jogado dentro das quatro linhas, e assim, o Fluminense tem que tomar cuidado, o Al-Hilal tem um bom time, senão perde pros caras. Muito obrigado por tudo, fica com Deus, valeu!